All this stuff, whatever. Excuse me. Helen Hayes, Suite, may I help you?
Yeah, can I have Regina, please?
Is Regina here? Regina? Well, we'll get her. Hang on, I'm going to have to put you on hold.
Okay.
Well, there is no hold button, sorry. Our next guest is a writer, reporter, lecturer, and columnist who invented and practiced the gonzo form of journalism. Folks, please welcome back to this program Dr. Hunter S. Thompson. Hunter, good to see you again.
Yes.
How long ago was it that you were here?
Well, it seems like only yesterday.
Yeah, nice to see you. You know,
we had a good time last time.
Yeah, it was fun. Jan Winter was here a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about the 20th anniversary of Rolling Stone magazine and so on and so forth. When did you first start working with him and the magazine?
Well, let's see. Almost from the very beginning, I think.
Right from the beginning. What did you do before that? Where did he find you? Where did you find him?
Well, I was a, people don't believe this, but I was a respectable, straight journalist. I'm going to have to start tearing things off.
That's right. Oh, there goes your microphone.
Oh, microphone's on?
Yeah, let me help you with that.
It's really hot in here.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
And so the mic.
Just continue talking there.
Put this little bugger on here.
Yeah, okay.
And
yeah, let me help you with your mittens. All right.
Can you do this?
That's all right. No, you're fine. You're fine. Just put it on there. All right, great. So now, how did you two happen to get together? Actually, you three, you, Jan, and the magazine.
Well, let's see. Let's take it from the top here and be real straight.
Hunter, let me ask you a question.
What?
Why didn't you take off your jacket before we started taping?
I wasn't sure. It's cold behind me here, and it's hot in front of me. And I wasn't sure which one was going to prevail.
All right, okay. Having a occluded front here, we might get showers in a minute.
Yeah, I might have to...
all right, so anyway, you and the magazine.
Well, I was looking at the time for... I was into politics, as I am now. And I was going to run for sheriff.
Of where?
Of Pitkin County, Aspen, Colorado. And as politicians will, I was looking for a constituency, which we called Freak Power at the time.
Freak Power?
Freak Power. Well, we had run one campaign earlier for mayor and lost by 6 votes.
And this was on the Freak Power ticket?
Freak Power, yeah. Well, you'd be surprised, you know. In the old days, it worked.
Yeah, I suppose it did, yeah.
And it might still work. It was an honorable term. And I noticed that we had trouble registering our people for the mayoral election, which we lost by 6 votes. And I thought, well, this won't happen again. Damn it. I'm going to run for the sheriff. We're going to register these buggers. And I looked around and I thought, who's going to talk to them? And I found this obscure magazine, you know, Rolling Stone.
Right.
I noticed that they were reading, you know, and they weren't into politics. And I thought, well, I will talk to Rolling Stone.
Yeah. That was the beginning of the relationship.
Yeah, I put my, I went over to see Winter and put my program in there, which we printed.
Do you still write for them?
Yeah. Yeah, I have, well, not often.
Yeah.
You know, Jan, he's become a little giddy in his old age.
Now, what does that mean?
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, no, how do you feel about what the magazine has evolved to at this point?
I mean, I'm a fun hog.
A fun hog, yeah.
And it's not as much fun as it used to be.
Well, perhaps
I'm
your
sure
own
that you probably
magazine.
have the same feeling about you. Remember your morning show?
God, you remember the morning show?
Yes, sir.
That's amazing.
Remember that? That was fun,
I do remember
right?
that.
Okay.
So what have you been doing lately? You're living in Colorado. And
Boy, I've lived there for...
You lived there most of your life?
I'm an extremely stable person.
What do you... tell us a little bit about the '88 presidential campaign.
Oh, there I am. I'll be damned. To the mother. Oh, heaven. All right, now we're all right.
Yeah, we are. What do you think? We're testing equipment here, Hunter?
Well, I don't know, man. You know, the Japanese are selling all kinds of things.
Well, let's talk about the presidential campaign. What does it look like? What about the Democrats? What about Gary Hart? He's a friend of yours, right?
Yeah. You know, Gary has been a friend for a long time.
Well, tell me about his situation. How did it strike you?
You know, I could do like the Winston Churchill thing and say, what time do you have? You know, how did it strike you? It struck me as a really a sad thing, and often part, I got to watch myself there, but he let a lot of people down because Gary was as close as we've had in a while to a president in waiting. And a lot of good people worked for the campaign.
Yeah.
And they're not, there are good people in politics. They're you know, more than you think. God, gee, people paid for this kind of heat, you know, in health clubs.
Yeah.
hope I get a good tan out of this. But now Gary he was running like 42% in the polls, over to 22% for Bush.
Did you know that he was flirting with this kind of difficulty, this kind of problem?
Well, this kind of problem.
Well, how else?
I mean, all he
would you
did was have
describe
a
it?
date,
Yeah,
somewhere.
but it took him out of the race. I mean, so I think we can describe it as a problem.
Well, yes, it is. Yeah, right. Yeah, but if you had a problem like that, if you had a date and it took you totally out of television, if I had a date like that and I couldn't write anymore.
It might be worth it, come to think of it, a date like that. So who do you see now with the Democrats?
Let's go back to that. Yeah, it was a problem, and I've known Gary, as I say, for a long time. Yeah. It's like people talking about me. Have you known Dr. Thompson for a while? Did you realize he had a drinking problem? Well, of course I have a drinking problem. It's right here in front of us. And I'm gonna show.
All right, but now tell us just.
I found it very like a silly and almost tragic kind of.
So you don't think that situation should have taken him out of the race?
I was one of two people who counseled staying in and saying to hell with it.
Yeah.
And as the polls have pointed out recently, people are very forgiving about that. People are very forgiving about the Ginsburg, the pot situation.
Do you think if he'd been more contrite, perhaps, at least publicly, that he'd still be in there running today?
I don't know, man. I think people like to see in a president, at least, and I've been this way myself, and I still am, you want to see somebody who can mind the store.
Right.
And if Gary has that kind of trouble with one of his dates, what's going to happen when he goes to Russia and meets a Russian
exactly.
girl?
And I think that strikes people.
Look at those Marines over there.
Yeah.
They all court-martialed, and but I don't think people Ginsburg.
Yeah. Well, let me interrupt here because I want to get your thoughts on who we're looking at for candidates, both sides of the aisle here. Who do you think is going to be coming out of the Democratic situation?
I see Paul over there. We don't know. I was going to shave Paul on TV rather than do this sort of thing. I noticed I haven't shaved myself. I look like Richard Nixon. Well,
just quickly now.
Okay.
So who is it going to be contesting for the highest office?
Well, in Iowa, it looks like Paul Simon.
Paul Simon with the bow tie.
Which I like the man.
You like him?
Yeah. He's from your neck of the woods.
Illinois.
Yeah. Well,
Indiana.
Right across the border,
yeah,
right?
Right.
Just your kind of person, man. Yeah.
You think so?
I think so. Who are you for?
I really haven't given it much thought.
That's where we're at now, because if I had to vote right now, immediately. I'd vote for Jesse always.
Jesse Jackson.
Yeah, I like Jesse. He brings a kind of a hard rock honesty.
But don't you think people are waiting for somebody to drop out of the sky as a popular front runner so we can then say, oh yeah, that's the guy?
Well, I know I'm a handicapped person. I'm a gambler, and I could talk to you about gambling, and I could probably tell you I would bet with you at 11-1 right now that Teddy Kennedy's going to be the.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Well, no, I look at it as a gambler.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure exactly why I see that, but it was Kennedy who beat Bork, for instance. Yeah. Here, the main man, Biden, got blown totally out of the race for another cheap scramble,
Hunter, I got to interrupt here. We're out of time. Does that upset you?
Always.
Yeah. Well, will you come back?
Sure, David.
All right. We'll be back, folks. Hotel Lounge downstairs. This gentleman, Mr. Mike Cossey, has been performing 6 nights a week for the last 4 years here at a place called the Backstage Canteen. And tonight, to kind of round things out for us, he'll be performing This Love of Mine. Mike?
This love of mine goes on and on till life is empty since you are gone. You're always on my mind, thought of sight is lonesome through the day and all the night. I cry my heart out is about to break. Since nothing matters, let it break. I ask the sun and the moon, the stars that shine, what's to become of it, this love of mine? Yeah, boy.